Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Student Success Series. My name is Jason Pratt, Reading and Writing Specialist here at Niagara. And today I'd like to talk to you about some tips for final exam preparation. As you know, final exam week is coming up in just a couple of weeks. And so we're going to talk about some things in addition to study that you can do to help position yourself for success during final exams. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first tip I want to share with you is to know the final exam schedule. So I'll post the link in the description box below so you can get right to this document, but you can find it right on the NU website. Just search, it says search NU, put in exam schedule, it'll come right up. The thing to keep in mind with final exam schedule is that it's very likely that the times and places that you're going to have requirements are going to be different from during the semester. So if you have a job, if you have responsibilities outside of school, it's important to know that this week and a half is going to be a lot different. It's going to look different from your typical week. So you want to make sure to check this, know when your exams are, so that you can make sure you're not scheduled to work, for example, at a time when you would normally not have class, but now you have a final exam. So that's why this is one of the many reasons it's important. And the way it works is you just look at the columns. So for here, for example, I'll just sort of put a dot there to highlight Tuesday, May 11th. If you have class at any of these times, so Tuesday, Thursday, 9 o'clock, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9 o'clock, or just Tuesday at 8:30, your exam will be from 8:10 to 10 on Tuesday, May 11th. And so that's kind of how this works, and you just want to go through and check all of your classes. The rooms, if any, you'll have to check with your instructors or your professors to make sure that you know which room you should go to, because again, it probably won't be the normal classroom where your class meets. And so that's just something to keep in mind, that due to scheduling and all sorts of different issues that go into protocols and so forth, sometimes we need larger rooms for the final exams than for class. And so just check with your instructors, check with your professors, and make sure you know whether your exam is virtual or in person and where you should go if it is an in-person exam. So tip number one, knowing the exam schedule. Okay, so the next tip is to prioritize. And so what I mean by this is to take a look at all of your course syllabi. Look at everything that's still outstanding or still to come in terms of tests, quizzes, papers, presentations, and just make kind of a long list of everything. And I recommend kind of a 3-column chart. So write the name of the assignment, what it is, when it's due in the middle column, and then what percentage of your final grade does that assignment account for. That last piece is something that a lot of people forget, but you really want to make sure that you're focusing your efforts on the assignments and the tests and the presentations that account for the highest percentage of your final grade. Of course, everything's important, but something that counts for 25% of your grade is 5 times as weighty, so to speak, as an assignment that's 5% of your grade. And so that kind of gives you an idea of where you should budget your time. Now, in the process of doing this, you might find some easy wins. What I mean by that is, let's say you have an assignment, it's 10% of your final grade, and you know you can finish it in maybe an hour. Well, I would tackle that right away, get it out of the way. You're going to feel good, you accomplished something, you can cross it off the list, and the more you do that, the more it's motivating. And so much of life is about momentum, and if you can build some positive momentum during finals week or the last few weeks of the semester, you're crossing assignments off, you're getting things done, maybe it's even done early. It's just going to relieve some of the anxiety because you'll be in control and you'll know exactly what's going on. You won't have that nagging feeling of, am I forgetting something? Am I forgetting something? Because you'll have it all on paper in front of you. And so this is about kind of taking charge of the last couple weeks of class. Okay, our next tip, don't skip your Z's. That's an easy thing to do, right? Skip sleep. It's sort of, especially the last couple weeks of the semester, it sort of feels like a luxury, That's why they make coffee. But that kind of thinking can actually be counterproductive, and many studies are starting to show this. It's become a topic that modern researchers are really digging into, this phenomenon of sleeplessness in America and how it specifically affects students. It's because if you're going through, you're taking 5 classes, you have papers, you have presentations, you have exams, you have quizzes, you have all these things on your plate in addition to life, right, outside of school, theoretically. That puts a lot of stress on your mind and your brain. You get a lot of things going on at one time. And when we're not getting enough sleep, studies have shown that we're just less able to process. We forget things. We're actually undermining all of that work we did. If you spent so long studying and preparing for something, but then you don't get sleep, chances are you're not going to perform as well as if you were able to get enough sleep. And so they recommend 7 to 8 hours of sleep, they being kind of the preponderance of the sources. But just consider this quote here the next time you're considering just kind of pulling an all-nighter. So the American Academy of Sleep Medicine says, quote, after 2 weeks of sleeping 6 hours or less a night, students feel as bad and perform as poorly, that's the key part, as someone who has gone without sleep for 48 hours. So in other words, if over the next 2 weeks of finals, final weeks of classes and then exams, if you're getting 6 or fewer hours of sleep per night, the effect on your brain and your body is the same as going 2 entire days without sleeping. I mean, think about that. That's pretty stark. And so just make it a priority to get enough sleep, to get 7 hours. Just shoot for 7 hours. And if you don't get it every night, let's say you get 7 hours of sleep 5 days a week at least, or 4 days a week, it's still better than skimping on it overall, because the overall effect on your health and your academic performance is going to be positive if you're getting that sleep. It's a reinforcement to everything that you're doing, and you just feel better too. So that's a big one. Don't skip your sleep. Here's another tip. A lot of research also shows the effect of eating a healthy diet, especially in times of high stress, which unfortunately finals week can be. And there are certain foods that have been shown to really help with cognition, memory, brain function. And these foods are bright fruits and vegetables. So I just put a picture there of all kinds of fruits and vegetables, but especially things like avocados. The fat that's in avocados is very good for our brains. So if you like avocados, that's good news. Dark chocolate, I didn't put a picture of it on here, but that actually also has been shown to help with cognition, memory, and it tastes good. You know, who doesn't like chocolate? It can relieve a little bit of stress sometimes. Berries specifically contain chemicals that help the brain process. There's a really interesting study I was reading about smoothies, and so they gave participants in the study a smoothie, and the other participants in the placebo group didn't get the smoothie, and the participants who received the berry smoothie before they took a cognitive test did better overall. And one of the reasons is berries contain a high number of very powerful chemicals that are beneficial to our health. The other thing is, don't forget to drink enough water. We're mostly made up of water, and if you become dehydrated, again, you're going to feel worse. You might get a headache. So sometimes we think it's a stress headache, but really we haven't drank water all day. So make sure you're drinking enough water, you're eating healthy, you're getting enough sleep. These things will reinforce the other things that you do in terms of study and preparation and research. And so they're really the fuel that your body and your mind needs to do well during these last few weeks. And really, this is something you could carry forward long term, but it's especially important in times of stress to take care of your body. If you don't have your health, it's very difficult to do well in other facets of life. So tip number 5 is to get out and get some fresh air. You know, a lot of research has been done on all of the things I've mentioned in the last few slides, these self-care elements, because it's very easy to sort of forego these things, to kind of eat poorly, not get enough sleep, not drink enough water, sort of sequester ourselves and not go outside in times of stress because we're trying to kind of lock in on what we have to do and kind of to the exclusion of everything else. And so much research has shown that that is actually counterproductive. And so here's a quote from the Harvard Medical School about the benefits of getting outside, getting some exercise on our mental health, but also our ability to complete complex cognitive tasks, which would be a good description for final exams and final papers. So the quote is, digging a bit deeper, it appears that interacting with natural spaces offers other therapeutic benefits. For instance, calming nature sounds and even outdoor silence can lower blood pressure and levels of the stress hormone cortisol, which calms the body's fight or flight response. So if we're feeling stressed, it can behoove us just go out and take a 10-minute walk, 10-15-minute walk. Today it's snowing here in Western New York, but in a day or two it'll be sunny and 60 again, and it'll just be nice weather to get outside and make sure that you get some of that fresh air and sunshine, even if it's for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Go out for a walk with a friend, walk around your neighborhood, walk around campus. It really can make a big difference. It's not a magic wand, like all of your stress will vanish, but it can help quite a bit. And so just make sure to think of these things as different elements of your final exam prep and not let them go by the wayside. Okay, just a couple quick final tips. I guess overall, my message would be don't let the self-care stuff be secondary. Make that a primary focus. It's just as much a part of your success as studying and the other aspects of preparation, because if you have a healthy mind and body, you're going to be much more able to complete all of these tasks that are coming up over the next few weeks. So that's really an important aspect of this. It's easy to kind of let that go, like we talked about, but make an effort. For these next 2 weeks. You can do anything for a couple weeks. Make an effort to try a few of those tips and see if they don't help. I think you'll find that they will, and then there's nothing that says you can't carry those forward in the future just to have a healthier, more balanced life. Also, take advantage of the Keep Calm and Finish Strong workshop series that's coming up. We sent a student reach message around regarding these, and the sign up is available on the library website. But the Keep Calm and Finish Strong workshop series touches on a number of topics, like writing a research paper. There are some self-care elements in there, so I highly recommend if you're feeling stressed, kind of take advantage of some of those. There are also some workshops on presentations. We have one on how to ace your next presentation. So if you have a presentation coming up, there are some things that we can talk about that'll help you do better on that presentation. So that workshop series is going to start next Monday, the 26th of April, and go through the last Thursday of classes. So that's something to consider. You can go to all one or as many as you'd like. Also, don't forget to reach out to professors early if you have questions or need clarifications on assignments or grades. Don't wait to finals week to communicate with your professors. If there's some issue, if you're not understanding something, if you need assistance, the sooner you reach out, the better. Also, remember the Writing Center is available to assist with papers, so you can sign up in the MyNU. There's a tab in the MyNU system for the Writing Center. Definitely sign up. We're here to assist with all aspects of the writing process. So if you have a paper, if it's citations, if it's getting started, if it's you need some help with organization, we're here to assist you. And if you have any other questions or would like further information in regards to how to prepare for final exams or some of the research sources that I mentioned in the presentation, please reach out to me at jpratt@niagara.edu. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your final exams, and have a great remainder of the spring 2021 semester.